Welcome to the first 2025 episode of Tedder Talks, a monthly program featuring issues and people impacting Rehoboth Beach. I'm Taylour Tedder, Rehoboth Beach City Manager, and I'm joined today by members of our Building and Licensing Department. With me now is Planning and Community Development Director Mary Ellen Gray. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the goals and changes that are taking place in this important department. So Mary Ellen, can you tell us a little bit in general what it is that the Building and Licensing Department does and why it's important to the community?
Sure. I want to emphasize that while each staff member has a particular role in the Building and Licensing Department, being a small department, we also do a lot of performance-related work as required. We all work as a team, and there isn't anyone in this department who doesn't hesitate to pitch in and help figure out something or do something as needed, whether it be for a department member or a member of the public or another department.
So can you tell me a little bit about how Building and Licensing and the city's Planning Commission work together and what kind of the role of each is?
Sure. The Planning Commission has authority vested by the state statutes and also in our city code. Applications for the Planning Commission are applied to the City Secretary's office. The Building and Licensing Department works with the City Secretary's office to review the application to ensure that it's complete. Once that is done, then the Building and Licensing Department distributes the plans for review to various applicable city departments such as the Public Works and Police, and along with our consultant Wallace Montgomery and the building inspector reviews the plans for conformity with city code. And we have regular meetings with the Planning Commission to discuss applications, ongoing projects, as well as questions that may arise in order to facilitate communication and coordination.
So what are some of the changes the department's considering, has adopted, or implementing to enhance service to both the development community and residents?
My position was added last year as a way to bring additional resources to the department and to help with facilitating processes and procedures that facilitate the efficient review and issuance of permits, as well as fair and equitable code enforcement. In addition, before I was hired, a consultant, Strategic Solutions, was hired to review and assess the city's permitting, licensing, and application approval processes with the goal to improve workflows and customer service.
I really appreciate the thoughtful efforts to enhance our service to the community. Thank you so much, Mary Ellen, for being with me here today. Now, we're going to speak with the city's two building officials to find out a little bit more about what each of them do. We're back now with the city's building inspectors, Matt Janus and Corey Shinko. Gentlemen, thanks so much for joining us today. Can you tell us a little bit about what your specific roles are?
Sure. So my primary focus is on the commercial side. I also do reports for the Board of Adjustment for certain applications that go before commissioners, and I do the Planning Commission reports as well.
And what I deal typically with are all of the medium to large scale residential applications, reviewing them for zoning and building compliance, as well as stormwater management.
So Matt, what are some tips that you could offer developers of commercial projects that could possibly help the process proceed smoothly?
Yeah, sure. So biggest thing is become familiar with our zoning ordinance, and you should be familiar with the construction code if you're dealing with our industry. The second thing I would suggest is definitely attend some of the meetings, see what other applications are presenting to the different boards and commissions that possibly have those requirements. I think if you were to start off with the knowledge of what each board and commission expects, I think you can come better prepared to those boards and entities to get your approvals.
And Corey, so what about residential projects? Any recommendations for residents or contractors?
Typically in an application, what I would highly encourage people to do is the zoning codes, make sure that you are building to the 2018 International Residential Code, which is what we currently have adopted, and to not forget about your trees, because that typically is part of our review process that we work with the city arborist on, and how the trees in your property can affect the type of building permit that you're applying for.
Thank you so much for being here today, guys, and sharing a little bit about what each of you does. And thank you for viewing this episode of Tedder Talks. We'll be back next month with a preview of the fiscal year 2026 budget and the budget process.